Hi there. So today I'm here with Trent Mell, CEO of Electra Battery Materials. I don't think we've had a chance to do this before, Trent, so thank you. All
Thank you.
right, we've done the more formal sitting and talking, but it's the first time we've had a chance to talk about some news. So as everybody will know, we have some news out this morning. Can you share with everyone what we announced today?
Yeah, and kind of what it means, right? So we've announced basically testing of a new feed source for our cobalt refinery. So for the last several years, we've been building out a cobalt sulfate refinery, the first in North America, and it's going to be diverting feed that currently is going to China. And so through Glencore ERG, we're bringing material in from overseas. We process it on site. And it raises a lot of questions about, well, what about cobalt material here, right? We're surrounded by 104 historic mines in what we call the cobalt camp. So this would be cobalt and silver deposits. We've got our own deposit, of course, in Idaho, in the Idaho Cobalt Belt. Like, what about these? And so now that we are kind of up and running, we ran the black mass recycling test, which allowed us to commission a full scale lab. And so it's kind of the next evolution is we've got a lab and we can set up, a mini test, right? A lab scale test for domestic feeds, which are, quite different from what we would be receiving otherwise.
And in terms of receiving otherwise, so we have agreements in place with Glencore and ERG. How does this play into that relationship if we start looking at North American feedstocks as well?
Yeah, I hope it's additive and not full substitution. I think that's kind of the path we're going down. And so the advantage of these cobalt hydroxide imports from the DRC is they're extremely high grade and they're very high purity. And it's what most of the global battery market is powered with, right? It's these deposits in what we call the African copper belt. When you get to North America, there's just smaller deposits and they have deleterious elements. A lot of them have arsenic, and arsenic is not a friend of most conventional smelters and refining processes. They either don't want it or you get charged a lot of penalties and it makes those mines often sub-economic. Electra, as you know, Heather, that refinery did treat arsenic in the past, right? We've got the equipment, we had the permits, and we certainly have the operating experience. And so, in addition to this high grade stuff from overseas, what can we do locally? And so we've collected some feed, like literally in our backyard. And we're shipping feed as we speak from Idaho, and we're going to try it through the lab and see if we can recreate the magic of, domestic processing of domestic feedstocks, which is the first part of the equation that we don't yet have.
Sounds pretty exciting to me. So in terms of alignment, why now? Does this sit sort of is this an economic decision? Is this a policy decision? What's driving the decision to do this testing today and now?
Yeah, I mean, the here and now, partly it's just capabilities. Right? We've built up our metallurgical team. George Puvata's got a great team at site. We actually have and had, I guess, in storage, like a small bench scale autoclave. So the difference, and I didn't explain this, the difference between the two circuits is that the stuff that we would receive from the DRC goes through the front end of our plant in a leach circuit. We call it atmospheric leach. So there's no need for extra pressure or temperature to leach out deleterious elements because again, it's very, very high grade and high purity. When you get to the arsenic material, you do need what we call a POX circuit. So pressure oxidation or a high pressure leach circuit. And that's what we have in our lab. And so George and the team are in the process of recommissioning that. And that'll allow us to put this material through. We've got a pretty good idea what the flow sheet looks like, but it's not going to be the same as what was done in the past. And so that's the sort of why now from a technical side. The why now from the policy side. Look, you just read the papers on geopolitics, whether it's President Trump or Prime Minister Carney. Critical minerals is a frequent topic of conversation. And look, I would say agencies on both sides of the borders have asked us, like, why aren't you treating domestic feeds? And so here we are. We've kind of answered the informal call. It would be a different circuit, a parallel circuit, and a separate capital expenditure program. So this is not something we would do tomorrow. The idea is let's test the flow sheet, let's de-risk it, cost it, understand what it looks like as we build out and commission the primary facility that we've been working on, and then we can come back to that with cash flow in our hands.
Makes a lot of sense. So in what ways does this program give us a little more flexibility and resilience in the market today that we're seeing?
Yeah, the flexibility, I think, when you take feeds with more deleterious elements, you have an opportunity to earn a little bit more, right? Because it's not as competitive a market. There may be more margin opportunities, but you're also not paying the logistics, right, of what is a global supply chain today. If you can mine in our backyard, ship it to our refinery, and then provide it here, right here in Canada to LG, for instance, you're saving a lot of costs. It's a great ESG story, of course, as well. But that flexibility also, the geopolitics, the supply chain risk of any mining operation or jurisdiction, you just start to mitigate that, and you get a little bit more independence from foreign mines, especially if we're taking it from our own mines, foreign suppliers, and it just makes us more resilient along with the supply chain.
Sounds good to me. So it sounds like we're going to have some more updates on this, and hopefully we can share those as we go. I know we're looking to see some results hopefully by the end of the year, and we'll bring those to the market as soon as they're ready.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Look forward to sharing more.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for your time, Jen. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.